People of Reddit, what is the worst I'm gonna die situation you've been through? For some reason I got attacked by 2 crows on the rooftop of an apartment building in Tokyo. Like, what the duck? I was fighting them off and I almost fell off the building. The crows had been arguing over how many crows it takes to make murder. It was only 2, so only attempted murder. I read cows, you were attacked by cows. I pictured the scene, naturally wondering what are 2 cows doing on a rooftop in Tokyo. They really had a beef with him. They heard he was talking shit. I was canoeing with my dad when we were on holiday in France. On a particularly rough place of the river, another canoe bumped us and our boat went upside down. I got carried away by the current until a man pulled me out. To this day I am glad that the man was there, otherwise I would not have been here. The first, and only, time I went whitewater rafting, our boat flipped over on the first set of rapids. Apparently this is common, but I thought for sure this was a catastrophic event. The first time I kayaked, it flipped. However, nobody was watching me then and they hadn't taught or warned me about this. It was a sit-in kayak, so my legs were hooked into the boat. I was briefly stuck there upside down underwater panicking. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Boy, I'm never ignoring that robot lady again. My foot got stuck in that gap and the doors were closing. The train was about to go and I was stuck. I would have been dragged along the side of the train and my head would have been slammed against the tunnel walls at high speed. My foot got yanked out thankfully, but I injured my ankle and lost my shoe. Oh well. Edit. I was 8 when this happened and was on a school trip. My teacher yanked me out. Props to you, Mr. Akia. I had shattered my leg, in the middle of the road, bones sticking out thigh. I thought I was going to be hit and killed while screaming in pain by a car. Nobody stopped for me, and I felt alone, scared, striving to crawl onto the sidewalk. Damn, that's terrible. Hope you're doing better now. Other than my insomnia and depression, I'm doing much better. Taking a shower while I was in Iraq, hear a loud bang. I'm like, hey, someone dropped their weights, since it was a similar boom to the sound made when someone drops their weights on the floor in the gym across the way. Then another bang. Then 3 more in rapid succession. That was when I realized we were being mortared, and I was very likely to die in the ducking shower. I didn't. I got a viral infection that spread to my brain in 2019. By the time my sister got to me to get me to the hospital I was blind and deaf and feral. Bit my sister, she has a scar. Everyone at the hospital told her I would have died a few hours later. Definitely wouldn't have made it through the night. Now I'm a disabled amnesiac with chronic pain. Went hiking in the forest, and all at once, all the animals started coming toward us. Birds and squirrels and other small ones, but also foxes and I think a deer or something else big. And at first I thought they were coming at me and then, they just ran past, away from me. But, away from something else it seemed. More started coming. I don't know what was chasing them or they were fleeing from, but I felt like we needed to get out of there too and we ran. I can't remember being so terrified for no specific reason in the past, but man, it was chilling. That sounds pretty cartoonish and nightmarish at the same time. That's why they did it. Every once in a while all the animals in a certain area get together to really scare the shit out of a hiker. They call it doing at Disney. That is a spectacular way to describe the feeling I was imagining. I went into the ER with a 215 BPM heart rate one night. I could barely breathe and had no idea what was happening. Turns out I was having an SVT. They had to bring in an entire cardiac team to get my heart slowed down. Scared the absolute piss out of me. 3 ablations later, and I'm doing much better. Was held up in an armed robbery. Got shot at, bullet missed. Am lying on the floor hoping guys don't find my knife and use it. Guys leave with cash. Find friend lying on the floor dying. Friend shot in stomach. Slow agonizing death. I held him. That night his mother was right next to him. She cried and wailed. It still haunts me. I'll never get over that pain in her voice. I overdosed on heroin while alone. I came to on the floor, unable to move my arms or legs. No vision. Deafening TV static like ringing in my ears. I don't know how long I was passed out for. It took probably 20 minutes for the feeling to come back to my limbs. It felt like I was slowly surfacing from being underwater. I managed to crawl to the bathroom, get up. Seeing my blue lips in the mirror, I knew I had come close to dying. It wasn't the last time I overdosed, but the last time it happened alone. 8 years sober now. Fell down the stairs. A week later I passed out in the bathroom, internal bleeding from a laceration on my spleen. The idiots in the ER insisted I was just hungover. Meanwhile I was bleeding out, 2 units of blood and platelets, 2 nights in ICU after surgery. Tried to overdose last year. As soon as I swallowed all the pills I had regretted it and was running to the toilet to try to puke all of them back up. I started to feel unbearably tired, so I went to sleep. I woke up 19 hours later and my body felt really ducked up. Childbirth. 4 kg baby stuck for hours, blood pressure sky high, high heart rate, fever. They put me under with ketamine instead of general anesthesia until he was out of me during emergency cesarean. My last thought was that I was dead. K-hole, 010 do not recommend. When I grabbed 2 wires, 1 hand each, which were hot and had 220 volts on them, standing on a wooden floor, wanted to let go but the electricity made that impossible, cramping muscles. Fell to the floor after approximately 15 seconds, making the wires slip from my hands. Fortunately, felt way longer and time looked as slow motion, I assumed due to the brain processing at almost max capacity as reaction to the danger. Thought that was it until I fell. My kidney died. I was vomiting green stuff. The pain was unbearable. I was in such bad shape that they couldn't operate. They had to wait a few months for me to regain my strength. They took me in to find out what was going on, and couldn't use a lot of anesthesia, but needed to do a laparoscopic procedure. I woke up during the middle of it while they still had the tubes and cameras in me. They didn't want to give me any more for the pain because they thought I would die, so I had to lay there with things in me moving around, cutting, and taking pictures while I was awake. The pain was transcendent. Nothing will ever hurt that much for me again. That's a wrap. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.